reviewing a Ford Focus RS. This should be fun. This will be my first hatchback sports car that I've driven. So we're all warmed up. Let's do a quick little 0 to 60. This car is fun, man. Ford Focus RS. We're dealing with 350 horsepower, 0 to 60 at about 4.3 seconds. Is a little over 3 seconds with launch control. We are doing a launch control reaction video, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna go around our first bend. Car feels planted. We're in sport mode, but I think the suspension is still in its soft mode. We'll try track mode a little bit later. I'm not gonna do it too much on track mode because that turns off traction control. So far, dude, the car grips, but at the same time, it doesn't feel confidence in a way. Let's go into track mode. Click OK. And then it feels a lot more stiff. Oh yeah, dude, it hooks. Wow. Okay, I take that back. Car feels a little bit more confident now. Maybe it's just getting used to. Steering is very tight. First thing I know is pretty tight. Not very tight, but it's pretty tight. The car just wants to grip and goes. I'm not going 100%, mainly because it's not my car. So, but yeah, dude, the car just wants to hook and go. One thing I did notice before starting the review when driving this car is when you floor it and the boost kicks in, the steering wheel likes to torque steer. It's all-wheel drive. I don't know what the deal is with the front wanting to like skip back and forth. Like it'll sketch you out. So it's like you definitely don't want to be in high boost in turns, and it does it when you're high in the RPMs, which is even worse because when you're high in the RPMs, you got to shift. You only have one hand on the steering wheel, and it's kind of hard to control torque steer with just one hand on the steering wheel. So keep that in mind. This car is fun, more or less, because it's kind of sketchy in a way. This car is kind of sketchy, I will say. I was telling the owner, I was like, you know, man, if a guy never driven a sports car before, this should not be his first sports car, because you gotta know how to handle this car. You gotta work with it. The seats, I have a love-hate relationship with these seats. I think these seats are the most aggressive seats you can get in this car. Now for the owner is a pretty skinny dude, pretty buff though, but more waist-wise, he's pretty, you know, thin. So I'm pretty sure this works for him perfectly. Me as a bigger guy, it was a little bit getting used to. Now I feel comfortable, but I could tell maybe even an hour of driving down here, this is like gonna hurt. I'm gonna start feeling aches on my back. It does have full adjustable seats, which is cool. And it actually does have heated seats as well. Overall, cars, it feels like a sports car. Like, this doesn't feel like the normal Civic.
Boy, did you just say Civic?
The one thing I will say about this car that I don't like in particular is I still feel like I'm in a Focus. It is a Focus, it's a Focus, but I feel like they could have done something a little bit more. They changed the steering wheel up a little bit, but it oddly just still feels like I'm in a Focus. There's a boost gauge right behind the camera, which is cool. I'll never look at it though. I think that's more or less for the passenger to look at, but it is angled towards you, so that's pretty cool. I'm stuck behind a truck right now, and that's the thing. Another thing about this car, I'm kind of scared to pass people because the car, I don't want to be all over the place. One thing, brakes pretty solid. Brembo brakes all the way around. Tires, we are on Michelin Pilot Super Sports right now. Very grippy tire, very good. As you see, I'm bouncing around, man. This car is stiff, and we are on track mode right now, so it feels hooked though. It feels really planted. There's really not that much body roll, if any. I haven't noticed any yet. After a while, I'm a little bit more confident with the car now, but initially this is one of those cars where it is a little sketchy when you first get into it. I'm actually a lot more comfortable in track mode now. It's just very bumpy, that's all. Initially, you can feel this car, it wants to hook. I don't know if that's all-wheel drive doing its thing, or is it just naturally, suspension-wise, it's just, and tire-wise, it's just very grippy. And I'm just cruising in 6th gear right now. I'm not banging through the gears right now. I'm just kind of in 6th gear, rolling it out. Not flooring it, because that's how you blow turbos in 6th gear. But Like, you know, it has a good enough amount of torque where I'm just cruising in 6th gear and just having a good time. It's a sports car. It doesn't feel like a regular Focus, man. Let's clear that out the water. It does not feel like a regular Focus. This car just wants to get up and go. It's a beautiful day out. This car is optioned with the sunroof, so that's cool. You gotta open right now to let a little bit more light in. This is a car I'll get if I had kids. When I first drove this car, I didn't expect nothing from it. Like, I didn't expect much, and just the way it handled, the way it felt sketchy, you know, kind of like how the older Lamborghinis felt like sketchy and scary. This is how it feels, but it feels a lot more controllable now that I've gotten used to it. And it pops and crackles. Another thing I love about this car, the pops and bang. Now we're gonna go on a few twisty, windy roads and see how it does there. See right there, torque steers. It torque steers on a full boost, which is not the biggest fan of. Here, we'll dial back the suspension a little bit. We'll go into sport mode. You see suspension smoothing out a lot more now. You see I'm not bouncing around as much now. So this car has MagneRide, or magnetic suspension, and it works wonders. So it measures out the road like every millisecond. For example, we'll go around this turn right here. Pretty tight little turn. And it, wow, blown away. You gotta be a little touchy with the throttle though. I felt the all-wheel drive system work its magic a little bit. Wow. This car just wants to grip. Still doing that little torque steer thing, man. It's very unpredictable. That's why I really don't floor when I'm around cars, because I don't know if it's gonna step out on me. Even if you hold the wheel straight, it'll kind of want to dance left and right a little bit. Brakes are, wow. I haven't got on the brakes too much. Brakes are solid. Wow. These tires, just the car in general. I know the tires play a big role in it too. Why don't Mustangs feel like this? Maybe the GT350. I have drifted the GT350. But I haven't driven one. Maybe the GT350 feels like this. I had to ask Josh. Josh Rolfe reviewed the R2. Man, this car, this is my type of car, man. It's so planted. And as you see, we went over a little bump. It's not in track mode no more, so not as stiff. We'll see what track mode is like real quick. I'm just in 4th gear, not banging through the gears, nothing like that. I'm not trying to overheat the motor. We're just testing out the suspension. Now it's a lot more stiff, a lot more bumpy. As you see, that's the magnetic ride working. That's the magnetic suspension at work. We stiffened it up just by pressing a few buttons. And it feels even more planted, but can be uncomfortable and a little bit less confidence if you're on a bumpy road. Really liking how this car is doing right now. The car hasn't went over the middle temp yet, so that's good. I know we've just been in 4th gear. We haven't really been high up in RPMs on this back road, but you don't really need to, unless you're trying to set lap records. If you're just trying to have fun, it's okay under 4,000 going on back roads. Brakes are confident. This car is just confidence inspiring. Popped again. Wow. Very impressed with this car. Very impressed. This is a driver's car, man, though. It's not going to reward you unless you put in the work. You have to put in the work, or you can just end up in a fucking ditch. This is not that type of car where anyone can just get in it and drive it. This is not that car. This car is for enthusiasts. That's why there aren't that many of them. They didn't make that many of these cars, and they stopped selling them too. This car is not coming back. This is a pretty rare car, especially for a Ford. I believe there's only about 25,000 of them in the world. Don't quote me on that. I'll put it on the screen how many there actually are. But this is an enthusiast car. You can't get it in an automatic. You can only get it in a manual. Wow. I'm really falling in love with this car. Holy, wow. It's pretty quick on a straight line. That launch control will get you though. Like, it'll surprise you. This car is meant for corners. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a cornering car. This is a backroads car. This is, I gotta pick up the kids. Maybe I'll do a quick race type of car. That's why I do really love this car, but I don't think it's the car for me because I'm more of a coupe guy. I don't really want a four-door unless I have kids. But if you have kids, this is a fun-ass car, man. This is a really fun car. Like, there really isn't much else I can say about it other than this car is a little rocket. It's a pocket rocket. It's a fun car, man. Like, I'm very impressed. And these cars eventually will start going up in value as well. Do a quick little 0 to 60. We'll just get rolling and then there goes that torque steer again. That pop and crackle. Man, I am impressed. Why don't the regular Mustangs handle like this, man? And why don't they sound, oh, except for the 5.0s, I'm talking about the EcoBoost. Why doesn't the EcoBoost sound this good? Man, what an impressive car. What an impressive car. This is a backroads car, man. I don't know how I feel about putting much money in the motor because just knowing turbo 4 cylinders, it costs a lot of money to mod them to keep them running properly. But this car does need an exhaust, I will say that. Flat out, one of the more funner cars I've driven. I will say I've driven the BMW M4. Now keep in mind, BMW M4 is like an $80,000 car. So keep that in mind. This car, MSRP was around 35 to 40-ish. M4 felt a little bit more confidence inspiring since it was rear wheel drive. Felt a little bit more nimble. But fun-wise, this takes the cake. This takes the cake as like one of the more funnest cars I've driven. This car is about fun. It's not about being the fastest. Even though it is a quick car, it's not about being the fastest. It's about what's the most fun. And this car is fun. And I think that's what we're lacking in a lot of the new sports cars today, man. Even the new Mustangs. I understand Mustang-wise, they gotta sell to all types of audiences. Whereas this car is only for enthusiasts. If you're a soccer mom, you're not gonna like this car. Other than that, I really like the MagnaRide. MagnaRide is doing really good. I'm really loving how MagnaRide is doing. It's handling the bumps pretty well. It's adjusting to like my throttle and turning and how the car's reacting to the road. It's doing very well, especially when you put it in like regular mode and sport mode. Track mode and sport mode, you do feel a difference. I know a lot of cars, when you change the modes in the car, they usually don't change much. In this car, you don't notice nothing power-wise, but you do notice suspension-wise. You feel the coilovers really stiffen up. Good gas mileage. I've been pushing a little bit. I filled it up for the owner, and the needle really hasn't really moved. I think it said he averages around 22 miles per gallon. This car is amazing. Final thoughts. Oh yeah, and it does have auto start stop. There's a lot of feedback in the steering wheel. Stick shift feels really good. Once you put the clutch in, the car will start back up like that. Stick feels really good. Hasn't heated up on me. It feels a little notchy, but it's just right. Like, there's no lockout like the transmission in the Mustangs. Radio was good. I love the new Ford system. Backseat space is pretty good. Trunk space is really good. This is a all-around really good daily driver. A little bit to get used to the clutch. My left foot hasn't been hurting, but it's a little to get used to. Actually, when I drove the car over the summer, I stalled out right in front of the owner. It was going up a steep hill though. I didn't want to burn his clutch, and I also didn't want to clip his front bumper. Other than that, man, this car is fun. And if you're an enthusiast, I highly recommend this car, especially if you gotta move around a lot of stuff. You can let the back seats down. So yeah, overall, really fun car. I really enjoy it. The screen is great, and I'll recommend this car to any enthusiast. And plus, these cars are going to start to go up in value. They don't sell these no more. There aren't that many of them. So yeah, this is a fun car, man. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next review. Peace.